Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Joe's Two Cents. What I want to talk about today is all this going on with the bombing in Iran. And the biggest question a lot of people have in their mind is, are we going to war? The answer to that question is unequivocally yes, we are going to war. But what we don't know just of yet is to what extent. Reason why I say yes is, I'm a former soldier myself, so I wore a uniform for 10 years. So, you know, based on my knowledge in that regard. Also, when you're dealing with countries like Iran and Iraq, they're quite fanatical in what they do, and when they say they're going to retaliate, trust and believe they will. Now, when I'm dealing with the situation, what I mean by to what extent, only time will tell. Because right now we're in a kind of like quote unquote wait and see status because we've already made our move. And what I mean is the United States. The United States has already set up to where they're ready to respond in the event that Iran decides to strike, quote unquote, conventionally. Well, one thing that a lot of them still fail to realize that the old rules of conventional warfare are, I would say, at the most part, over. The Russians have proved that to us with the cyber warfare. So cyber warfare and other means that they have been using has not only been effective, but is also a lot less bloody and a lot more effective. So we're going to see what the Iranians do. Now, in my mind, there are several ways that this could go when I mean to what extent are we going to war. Now, granted that that general that got killed, he got killed on Iraqi soil. And Iraq and Iran, they never liked each other. However, even though they don't like each other, they still got together and had more memorial services to honor this general that got killed. And that's actually kind of ask yourself, why would Iraq and the Iraqis have a memorial service for a guy from a country that they don't like? So in my mind, again, this is just conspiracy theories. We won't really know until it actually happens. They have a hate for each other, but they have a much more hate for the United States at this point. They might actually come together temporarily under a mutual understanding that, okay, we're going to combine our forces together and see, can we come to some form of attack against the United States? Because we've been meddling in their affairs. I keep saying the United States have been meddling in their affairs for decades, and those people are sick of it. They want the United States and any foreign influence out of their country. They've been wanting that for a very long time. And so they might actually use this as an opportunity to work towards that endeavor. So now, here's another thing that could happen. A lot of these countries, they don't like each other, but at the same time, they don't like America. Iraq and Iran, they don't like us. Yemen, they don't like us. Lebanon, we not one of their favorite ones either. Syria, we're not one of their favorites either. Let's say, in theory, that these countries actually come together to come up with a massive blow against the United States. It's conceivable. Will it happen? We won't really know. But think about it. It's really conceivable. And if these many countries, and mind you, these countries have a lot of oil, they can actually have an economic influence as well. Now, one of the ways they can retaliate is they hate Israel. All these countries I just named, they pretty much surround Israel. They hate Israel. They know if anything happens to Israel, the United States is going to come to their aid, and then they're going to suck them into a war. Also, Saudi Arabia is on the side of the United States. If they do something to Saudi Arabia, and because of the oil that the United States have become dependent upon, they know that we're going to respond. Now, mind you, there are other countries that are on the side of these Arabic countries, and that's how it all gets sucked in. That's how World War One started. You know, you first of all you had two countries that are feuding against each other, and then other countries, pick sides, and then they decided to start fighting. That's how the World War One started. The same as how World War Two started. Same right now, where we may actually be potentially on the brink of World War Three, to where countries that are siding with the United States, okay, they're picking a side. And if something happens to the United States, they're going to join in. Now, mind you, countries like Canada and Mexico, because of their proximity to us, 9 times out of 10, they're going to join the fight, because whatever happens to the United States is going to affect them as well, but due to proximity. Also, other countries that are siding with the United States, they're probably going to join on the bandwagon too. That's one side. Now you're looking at the other side. There are quite a few countries that are in favor of what's going to war, and think that it's justified for Iran to retaliate. So you got other countries like Turkey, and you got Palestine, you got all these other countries that could very well side with Iran, along with Iraq, along with Lebanon, along with Syria. All those countries over there, they can actually unite on one side. Now you got one big side against the other. Now here you go. We got World War III. Now, United States obviously we're one of the most powerful countries in the world. Now you also got to look at what position will China take with this? What side will Korea take with this? Because China pretty much is going to back North Korea. Then you got South Korea. They probably going to be on our side. Then you have the next one, the big one, Russia. Let's see, Russia. Okay, they're going to do the most opportunistic approach that's going to be best for them. Same thing with after World War II. Stalin got so much more than what he should have gotten, due to the fact that, okay, Roosevelt got sick, and then Truman stepped in. Truman didn't really know what the hell was going on, and Churchill was just absolutely pissed. But Stalin, he won that chess game. Now, that same mentality with the Russians, they're going to step back and say, okay, how can we benefit from this feud? So it can turn out to be a really big mess, and I really hope it does. But the only thing we can do at this point, we just have to wait and see. Again, I tell you, everything I said is only conspiracy theories. We only know until it happens. But even though these are conspiracy theories, everything I said is absolutely feasible. It can actually very well go that way, but we won't know until it happens. So for those of y'all that know the words of prayer, I would say you start praying for our countries and pray for peace.